Okay, out in the woods looking for natural forks here, and here we've got some, I think, blackthorn actually. I think I'm wrong on that actually. It's not hawthorn. I think that's blackthorn. All the way along here. None of it thick enough for a decent fork, but yeah, I think that's blackthorn. I didn't know that it had white flowers. Is it blackthorn? I don't know. I'll look it up when I get home. We're at the end of March now, towards the end of March, so it's good to see some kind of life. Over here we have a load of alder and some pine. Actually those pine, which I presume are Scots pine, were put in about 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Pretty tall now. And if we go around here, there's a fairly big silver birch. Here's a hazel. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a hazel. Can I see a fork in here? Not a thick enough one, I don't think. Let's have a look. This is hazel. There. The fork is odd size, but it's going to be carved anyway. That's a possibility. It's just the fork on the right wants it be too thin, I think. Probably just over an inch on the right and maybe an inch and a half on the left. I don't know. Come back to that one. So I see a usable fork here. This is hawthorn. It's taken a little bit of one side of the tree off, but the kids around here have been destroying them all anyway. It's right next to an alder behind and a birch here. They're all too close anyway. These lower branches are going to die because we cannot get light. And I've just cut a branch off here, can you see? And although this fork is not as wide as I hoped, it's a usable fork, that, and I'm about to cut this off. Speak to you in a minute. Here we go, there's that hawthorn cut off now. Quite a chunk actually. Turn it around like that. It might look here that I've cut the forks quite short, but slingshots these days have very short forks. I've actually cut them over long. They're going to be shorter than that. And obviously the handle's going to be shorter than that. But it's quite a nice piece of wood. I mean, I've got big hands. That's a chunky piece. That quite even forks, which doesn't matter that much because it's going to be carved down. But I'm happy with that. That's a good one. A really good one. could even use the natural shape when it comes to carve it, but it's a good one. I'm impressed. Ow! Battery's running out now, and I've just been banged in the face by some branches, and I've come across this. On the camera this is going to look quite thin probably, but it's not. Got some bramble over it there, look at that. Good even spacing, right? Got a hand. That is not small. And it's I think it's older. Yeah, it's older. This is older. But it's good. I like it. There are so many growing together here, look. All over. This is a multiple trunk one. I will do no harm, in fact good for the tree to take this out, and I'm about to take it out. I'll come back to you. Cut the tops off. It's probably about 3 inches down here. It's been a bit of a bugger. Oh, jeez. I'll come back to you. There you are. That's going to be a beauty. An absolute beaut, that. Obviously it's not going to stay like that, it has to be carved. But that's a beaut. Look at the size of it. It's a nice chunk, that. I'll see if I can find an ash. If I can't, well, today I'm off back. But I'll have a look out for an ash. This hazel's a bit thin, but it might have some possibilities. I prefer that one actually, but if this was the left fork and that was the right, unbalanced, eh? Yeah. This willow here, bring you in here, it's growing all around itself. Just try to get in here. There is a brilliant fork. Growing into itself, I will do this tree no harm whatsoever by bringing that off. Just got an ash as well from inside there. I didn't show that on camera. It was actually it was a fallen down one, and it was still alive. The roots had blown, but they were still in the ground, but it was dying back. So it's getting no light. So again, I've done that ash no harm whatsoever. And when I get back to the studio, I'll show you the ash as well. One side of the fork is slightly thinner than the other, but obviously when I carve them, they'll be the same. There's some alder here. They're too thin. There's loads and loads and loads of trees, and all that's happening around here is they planted them so close together. Kids are breaking them down. They're planted so close together that they are not getting enough light. And by me taking a few branches out, I've been given permission to do that and doing no harm. If anything, a little bit of good. That pine. This is a big pine, this. These trees were only planted 12 to 15 years ago. I would say that's 25, maybe 30 foot tall, in 12 or 15 years. It's probably not a Scots pine, is it? It's probably a European one, Corsican pine or something like that. There you go, it's got fir cones on it. See? I love them. Big trunk on it. Look at that, that would be a fork, but pine's too soft to use for a catapult. But impressive. In fact, the Scots pine isn't it supposed to have 5 needles per bunch or something like that? That's how you identify it. That's not Scots pine, that. Corsican pine or something like that. It's a European one. They grow faster. Yeah. And this, I'm sure this is blackthorn. I'm sure this is blackthorn. Come autumn, this will be full of berries. Yeah, it is blackthorn, that, definitely. Beautiful little bush. Right, I'm off back home. Speak to you in a bit. Bye bye. This is before I've even got back home. I won't be cutting this today, but that's a pretty good fork, isn't it? And it's not thin. It's big, it's chunky, and it's older. I like it, but I think it's going to be one for another day because I'm absolutely fucked. I've walked about 3 miles to get here. I've been sawing like fuck with a crap blunt handsaw, but this is one to come back to, I think, because that could be a good one, couldn't it? Cut it off about here and there. See? Oh, I've cut my finger on that hawthorn and about there. Yeah, we'll come back to that one.